Good morning. I know that I showed you. My my small Viking axe yesterday, but I'd forgotten about this one. So good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. A really sweet, wonderful friend of mine sent me this a long time ago, and when I took it out of the package, I said, "Oh, look! It's a Viking axe. No, wait, it appears to be Thor's hammer. What the hell am I going to do with it?" And then I saw, so you can really see it. So here it is, right? Here it is. This thing. I'll need a bigger purse. But the reason I went looking for it, left, right. The reason I went looking for it this morning was because of something I'd said yesterday about wanting to have a sound effects button. You know how you see these laser things and they go zerrt, and then the Star Trek phaser made that really annoying sound that made you want to smack the person who thought of it. Yeah, and I was saying what I need is I need a sound effect, that a button, just as convenient for me, that I can just push when people are remarkably stupid, and I won't have to say anything. I'll just look at them. So, and then I remembered this, and I said to myself, "Wait a minute, I think I think I may actually have what I'm looking for." Talk about manifesting what you want. Ready? Okay, here we go. Somebody says something dumb, and I go, it's the echo, and the little light goes blue and everything. So, can you imagine me walking into a meeting and putting it on the desk? Now here's the real humor. I can't imagine me walking into a meeting and putting it on a desk. I can imagine me saying, "Oh, this? Oh, this is say hello to my little friend." Billy, can we get this louder? All right, enough frivolity, at least in that direction. There's a lot of really unfortunate things happening around the globe, and I went on about it at length yesterday, so I don't really need to weigh into it in that way, because that's not why I'm here. I'm not here to I don't know, adjudicate on what it is that people are choosing to do. I'm here because my Viking ancestors were essentially navigators and poets. And the reason they were navigators is because, well, have you seen where they lived? They had to figure out another way to, first of all, go shopping, and secondly, to grow things and get away from all the annoying people who wanted their land. And so they got in the boat and rowed furiously off in all directions until somebody said, maybe we need a plan. They didn't have a map, but they had a pretty good idea that they didn't want to be where they were, so then everything else is on the table. So because I come from that kind of background, and because I was gifted with parents who were keen and beautiful and smart and resourceful and really kind of lacking on the whole parental thing, I did a lot of navigating on my own. And as a military kid, you have to navigate. And then I fell sideways into acting because it seemed like the next logical extension of everything I'd ever done. And only now they were going to pay me money. I mean, they were going to pay me money. And so I kind of assumed, as an only child, I don't really have a lot of reference points. I assumed everybody did the kind of thing that I do, which is, gauge the situation and then find the quality within me that is the best equipped to address what's going on. And as I worked more and more in the entertainment industry, and I took on all these characters for the various roles, I realized forget them. Even if I may forget the lines, I remember the intention behind the character, and I remember the purpose the author had in writing the story that was then, taken off the page. And so I discovered over time that the value our alter egos have to us is that we don't have to change. You need to change. You need to do better. You need to be more this or less that. You need to just, no, we don't. No, we don't. And to all those incredibly helpful people giving us those suggestions, because what they're saying isn't true. We don't have to change. What we have to do is find the best aspect of ourselves and put them in charge for the moment. Let them drive the bus. By the way, as an aside, I not only took a course in driving transport trucks, all 18 wheels of them, I also took a very brief stab at driving a bus. And I think the entire world should thank its lucky stars. I did not follow those paths because I am what you would call challenged. The really big vehicle, When I took the test for the transport truck, I wore a large pink bow in my hair. And the examiner, because every other student was a guy with a trucker's hat, and me, Betty Boop. And he said, what's the bow in your hair for? And I said, well, I'm considering it to be a fair warning to anyone who sees us coming, really, because would you just be cavalier if you saw somebody with a big pink bow driving a transport truck? No? Good idea. And then the bus thing was one of those small C celebrity challenges. I was doing morning drive radio, and we were all going to go and learn to drive a city bus. And everybody else passed except me. I knocked over, well, I had a rather amazing score. I knocked over pretty much all the pylons. So for Lawrence Moran, who has the title of Canada's worst driver, please, you were in a car, honey. You were in a car. Come back when you've done it in a bus. And so the idea of driving a bus, the idea of driving our bus, is that we need somebody qualified. Good idea. You do have to be qualified. They don't let you do it, like legally, if you're not qualified. And they test you. They train you, and they test you. So if that is true for our driver's licenses for our cars, and it's true for airplanes, thank you, Jesus, and if it's true for pretty much everything else that puts a vehicle on a road with you at the wheel, you have to be qualified. I mean, even Vikings had to qualify to get in the boat, for God's sake. Why wouldn't we choose the quality we have that is most qualified to handle a crisis? Right? Why wouldn't we reach in to our memory bank and pick out that aspect of us that does the job better? I have had reversals of fortune. I'm looking down not because I'm doing a whole dramatic thing. I'm clicking that too low FPS moment. I have had reversals of fortune. We all have had reversals of fortune. We have all behaved badly from time to time. We have all been selfish. We have all been lazy. We have all been unhelpful. We have also been brave. We have been fun. We've been excited. We've been curious. We've been strong. We've been weak. We've been firm. We've been all the things that are from time to time. We're nodding our heads, right? We're nodding our heads. Every single one of those adjectives I just used. We have all been there. We have all been blindsided by something horrific. We have all fallen flat on our backs or face down on the road for longer than we care to admit to, until we had the strength to get back up. We've all walked away from those moments, from those people, from those situations, and said things like, what the hell was that? Or, whew, better them than me. Quite often I tell people that when somebody is insufferable, I tell myself, and the good news is I'm not related to them. They don't have to sit at my table. I don't have to feed them anything or say thank you. I can just walk away. That's my attitude. Each and every one of those elements in us, those alter ego moments in us when we stepped up or fell down or rolled to the side or missed it by that much, they all still live within us. They're all part of our memory bank. We have absolute control over bringing those back to help us meet whatever comes. We just have to learn how to do it. And I know I said in the last video that when people say just, it comes across as minimizing something that isn't small. It's huge. When I say we just have to learn, I mean we have to say, okay, I like the idea of this enough that I'm willing to give it a try. No one's asking you to change. No one's asking you to just say no. No one's asking you to turn over a new leaf or take on that new diet and stick to it more than, 20 minutes. I bought the diet book. It's been sitting on the shelf and it's not working. All we need to do is figure out who those characters are that live in our heads, who those beautiful aspects of us are. I talked in the previous video, and I've talked about it before, that really we're like a diamond, we're like a gem. And the reason that a gem sparkles when it turns in the light is because it has been cut. When it's pulled out of the ground, it's a lump. Rose cut, somebody will correct me, of course. And I will welcome it. The diamond is sort of shaped like this, and it's round top, and there's all these different angles to it, these facets to it. And as the aspects, as they turn, the light hits them, and they come into full focus for a second, and then the stone keeps turning. It's our diamond. It's us. We can control how fast it turns. We have to want to. It's not going to say, okay, whatever you say. It doesn't mind read. We have to take charge. Taking charge is easier than changing because we don't have to become somebody we're not. Taking charge means selecting the one best suited to our need. The one to drive the bus at the Dakar rally or, in downtown rush hour traffic. Two different skills, by the way. Totally different. And it requires a different mindset. It requires different kinds of hand-eye coordination. It requires different kinds of dexterity and intention. Every single one of our alter egos has all that. When I go back and I list the characters that I've been, there's a ton of them because I've played a lot of roles. The big ones that people remember are easier to talk about because they're more memorable. As I said in another video, if anyone watched the Care Bears, I played 3 of the original bears when they first came out. One bear was very brave and a little clumsy, but keen as all get out. One was wistful, and one was just yummy and huggy and wonderful. Very different bears. They all looked exactly the same, except that they were a different color, and they had a little different emblem on their tummy, which means that we were able to recognize them on sight. And if it was a big enough display, we could say, oh, look, there's Wish Bear. I love Wish Bear. Or, oh, there's Friend Bear. Or there's Love-A-Lot Bear. And then to allow people to identify more directly, as a character voice actor, what we all do is give voice to that character so you can identify right away. This looks like a job for Friend Bear. Ow! Is a very distinctive bear. And maybe my favorite. Every character world receives what it needs to hear. And this is a very important thing that I'm going to say. Not that the other stuff was just, drivel, but this is important. And this is a lesson that you learn when you decide to get into performance, when you decide to present yourself to the world. These are two absolutely true things. People never truly hear what you say. They hear what they think you said. And they hear it through their filter. And people never see what you do in the same way. They see what they need to say. They take away what they need to fill something, to validate something in them. A long time ago, I was in a stage play, and one of the theater reviewers took a personal dislike to me. I know this because she told me, which is a little disconcerting when you meet a critic for lunch, and she says, I don't like you. I see. Shall we order? And she proceeded in every opportunity that she had to write in a way that lent an edge to what she was saying. And in one show, I was wearing a blouse, a top that was made of very slippery material. And over top of it, I was wearing a heavy cardigan. I was playing the role of a Russian prosecuting attorney in a court trial. It was performed at the Ottawa Little Theatre, and the play was called The Oblast Court Trial. It was written and directed by my college mentor, Frank Daly, and it was a really cool show, and it was a unique opportunity for me because it gave me a chance to play a serious role. It gave me an opportunity to be completely outside what it was that people expected of me. And every time I got up from the prosecutor's desk to walk over to question someone, and she was really, really tough, this lawyer, the cardigan, the heavy cardigan, would slip off one shoulder or the other because the fabric of the top underneath was so slippery. And so I would get up. I didn't want to walk around looking, like a vamp of some kind. So every time I got up, I would settle the sweater so that it didn't get in the way. It didn't disrupt what I was doing or distract what I was thinking. So I would get up and I'd straighten it and I'd walk across. Well, she went on and on and on. It probably didn't, it's my memory. She probably, through my eyes, through my ears, she went on about my superior, disdainful attitude as evidenced by the way I settled my sweater. Okay, I wasn't actually that aware as an actor that I could maybe use that move to cement a quality in her personality. I just didn't want my clothes to fall off. But that's what she saw. That's what she needed to see to validate how she felt about me. And she had the power to do it because in her role she was able to critique. That's what she was hired to do. So that's a great example of someone taking a thing and just shading it to suit a narrative that's going on inside your head. In the previous video I talked about an unfortunate quality that is emerging in people that I refer to as the small yappy dog syndrome. And we've all met the small yappy dog that goes and it's please stop the dog. That is something that dog does in a panic reaction. I equate it as what people do when they stick their fingers in their ears and they go la 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 la. That critic, who was not a fan of mine personally, let alone professionally, did not want to know or hear or see that there might be something redeeming about me. She was comfortable where she was in her assessment. That was her safe place. So she chose that ego when she wrote about me. So there's an illustration of what I'm talking about. We choose the ego that serves us best without realizing it. Okay, but we need to have more control than that if we want to be successful, happy, at peace, find joy, maybe win the lottery. We need to have more control. We need to choose who drives our bus. So what I recommended on the previous video on Tuesday, was that you think of some of your alter egos and give them a name. And the reason I suggest giving them a name is because it's easier to say, you know, that's the John side of me, that's the Bob side of me. I love it when Edna comes into view, because it gives us permission to be more and do more in a way that works for us instead of against us. And one of the tricks that we can use to go there, again, this is an actor's technique, is to assign ourselves a memory tool, a hook, that allows us to bring back that person. So I was saying, and I think it bears saying again, we can master what comes. We can carve our safe space. We can live very good lives together, collaboratively, if we invest our time in bringing the most appropriate self, the best accessory, to the table, rather than pointing and yapping at things other people are doing that we have zero control over. The yapping and the pointing and the name calling and the labeling achieves nothing. It's a time vampire. It steals our time. And time is the one thing we never really have enough of. We have no idea how much we have. And so what we want to do is make the best use of it. One of the hooks that I use is joy. I tried sorrow, and I tried depression, and I tried resentment. And they all make me look awful. They make me look unfortunate. They make me look small. They make me look less than evolved. And why would I do that, really? Oh, look, I get to look dysfunctional. Where do I sign? No. I want to have the best life I can. And without dancing around the issues, I don't think I have ever met anyone who has gotten through their lives without losing someone, who has never known sorrow, who has never been terrified by something, who has never been rejected firmly, rudely, crudely, publicly, who has never been mocked or bullied. I don't know anyone. I know people who have been badly damaged by these things. Traumatic stress is a thing. It's a part of your brain that blinks and can't climb over something so big that it didn't see coming. And it can't cope with. It can't sort. It can't put somewhere. Post-traumatic stress is the stress that keeps coming back because the brain can't let go of that horrific moment. To me, when someone is there in that moment, they're living in a shadow life. They're living in that life in that past moment. They're not here with us. And the therapy, those amazing therapy dogs and the people who train them, the tools, the people who are there who try to help, the medications we take, the exercises we do, are designed to help us step further away from that shadow side of us and closer into the present, into the light. I said, I don't know anyone who has not been near that moment, near that place, in that place, still may be. And that includes me. But I am not going to let those moments win. Makes me cry? Yes. Does that make me mad? Yes. Does that make me look for an alter ego to overcome? Yes. And so I'm going to show you what came in the mail yesterday. Ready? This is Cynthia Cook. The E is silent. And her new fascinator. Is that silly? Is that crazy? Hello everyone, I'm Cynthia Cook, the E is silent, and this is a fabulous hat. Now, when I channel that ego, because I'm wearing this, oh my God, do you love it? Do you love it? When I channel that alter ego, my losses and my shadow selves, well, they're still here, but they're applauding because they've jolted me out of that sad space where they will always live. And do I need them? Yes, from time to time I do. I need them to remind me that when I may be up and having my best day, other people may not. And I owe it to people I come in contact with to be mindful that they may not be having their best day. Because that's how collaboration works. Are you able to focus on what I'm saying, even though I have this amazingly silly hat on? I hope so. And I know I should be doing Cynthia's voice, but that I'm just being very serious for a moment. Pivoting is what we do on a basketball court. Oh, okay, sorry. It's not what I do on a basketball court. The only thing I do on a basketball court is say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong room. Sorry, excuse me. Because we pivot. We turn on a dime. We pivot when something comes that we didn't expect and we have to shift quickly. We pivot. We spin. That's what our heel is for. And we can do that mentally. We can do that emotionally. We can do it physically. We can pivot. And what we're pivoting is our inner diamond. What we together can do is find the exact right best self to deal with what's happening now. And I have a very selfish reason for talking about this with you. I haven't set aside Story Me TV. Story Me TV is my production company, and it is the vehicle I'm using to produce new entertainment that is viable and valuable and practical no matter what is going on around us. I'm seeking out different galaxies and different worlds to boldly go where, yes, I'm seeking out ways to override, to pivot, to preempt the limitations that are forced upon us by whatever might be happening. And I can't do this by myself. Vikings don't row the boat alone. They have a team. They have a crew. I can't do it by myself, not even with all of my collective alter egos. I need each one of you. And over the course of time, as I'm talking, as my alter egos are talking, I'm going to be asking you, inviting you to reach out and tell me things that have happened to you. Small stories, brief moments, altercations, things you survived and didn't, embarrassing moments and triumphs, all of them. Because our stories tell us who we are. Our stories are the key to our immortality. And they all weave together. Because I'm not alone in this universe. Together, you and I, we're a galaxy. Okay, I've used up my time already. It's Thursday. It means we have a couple of days until I see you again. I'm getting my booster shot tomorrow. And I'm excited because it's going to give me another weapon in my arsenal. So, until I see you on Tuesday next week, two things. Start writing down the names of your fabulous alter egos and be good to you.